The first skill cue that we want to talk about, and I think one of the things that you see a lot when I evaluate at camps and I watch campers and young lacrosse players playing, is wasted motion. And what I mean by wasted motion is when Coach and I here are having a catch, and you'll watch as we throw the ball back and forth, I'm going to explain what I mean by wasted motion. You know, often you see two lacrosse players having a partner catch, and the stick's down here by their hip. They're kind of throwing it back and forth. You can see it's every time I throw the ball, it looks a little bit different. All right, maybe it's up here one time. The next time it's more of a sidearm release. They're not bad passes, but ultimately what we want to do is build consistency. All right, consistency when you're throwing the ball is really important. A skill cue that we use, and we're going to use it in our passing as well as our shooting and dodging, is 11 to 1. What I mean when I say 11 to 1 is if I was a clock and you were to look at me, this being 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock if you will, time frame on an actual clock itself, all right, and you have 9 to 3. What we want to do is instead of having our hands way back here at, say, let's call this 9 o'clock back here to 3 o'clock, we want to go from 11 to 1, all right, which is just shortening up our release ultimately and getting you a quicker and snappier pass. As Coach and I work on this, I'll also introduce what we call our triple threat position. Triple threat is when you catch the ball and you're in a position to dodge, shoot, or feed, all right? As Coach and I are throwing the ball back and forth, again, we're just going to work on our 11 to 1 passing. As I catch the ball, it's coming back here to my 11 o'clock position, and then I'm snapping it out. All right, you can see the difference between this pass and then this pass. It's just as firm, it's just as quick, but it comes out nice and fast. And we refer to this again as 11 to 1. This is going to be an important skill cue when teaching throwing and catching. All right, you want to have that triple threat position, which is right in here. All right, again, 11 o'clock. And even when you get a bad pass from Coach here, if I get a pass on this side of my body, I always want to bring it right to 11 o'clock. And then when I follow through, just crack my top wrist right at my target, and that top hand's going to force that ball to really snap out of your stick. All right, that's something when you're looking at throwing and catching and you're dodging, it's going to be real important. We've all had catches where the ball is kind of going back and forth, and it's low, it's high. We want to, again, really focus on consistency. And when we get on the wall here in just a minute, you'll see how we can really repetition this cue. Now, that's your throwing. That's your 11 to 1 pass. The next piece, outside of the triple threat, to go along with this whole piece here, is your soft hands. So as Jared and I are throwing the ball back and forth, we got our 11 to 1 passing. What we want to do is we want to focus on catching the ball deep, catching it back by our ear. And as the ball comes into me, I want to receive the ball back by my ear right into my 11 o'clock position. All right, we talk about soft hands. You know, you have the analogy of an egg. When the egg hits your stick, if you have soft hands, the egg won't break. Coach and I, as we're throwing the ball, I'm going to try and catch it back by my ear right into my 11 o'clock position. Soft in, crack it right out. All right, this is a good example of soft hands and 11 to 1 passing. Crucial things when we start to build into our dodging and shooting. Triple threat position every time, soft hands in, 11 to 1 out.